Let's do something different today. I'm not Haj that's going to sit down and speak to you guys about football. I'm Haj, the professional chain inspector. As you guys can see, I've got Jonathan David's chain right here, silver. And then I have Lois Openda's chain right here. It's also got itself a little pendant. Do any of you guys wear chains anymore? I feel like I've outgrown them. I genuinely feel like I've outgrown them. Like back in the day, we're talking bracelet. We're talking 2 double chains. I just feel like I've outgrown them these days. Anyways, my point is, whose chain is real? Because as you guys know, Dusan Vlahovic has been reported that he's out for about 2 to 3 months. And as you guys know, with football, once he's back and he hasn't played for so long, it's going to take him a while to get that match rhythm, that match sharpness, that fitness, just for him to get that confidence back on his side. I'm going to be real. This season now, it falls on the hands of David to the Jonathan and Openda to the Lois. It falls on their hands. I'm going to be real. Vlahovic, the guy that Spalletti has trusted, and I'm going to be real, the striker that's performed the best so far this season, being out for 2 to 3 months minimum, this season falls into the hands of David and Openda. Especially when you bear in mind, the next 2 to 3 months, there's no international break. So we're talking game after game after game. Coppa Italia, Serie A, Champions League, Serie A, Champions League, Coppa Italia, Serie A, Serie A, Champions League, Coppa Italia. You get what I mean? I'm going to be real. The games are going to be coming quick. If Spalletti wants to continue with the 3-4-3, as you guys would know, there's only one striker position. Only one striker position. Who takes it? Who do you want to lead the line? Make sure to like. Make sure to subscribe. The road to 30k started yesterday, just like it did the day before and the week before. Now, let's just familiarize ourselves with David to the Jonathan and Openda to the Lois. Let's start off with Jonathan David. As you guys can see, 5 starts across all competitions. Serie A, Champions League, 683 minutes, sorry. 2 goals. His 2 goals came up, if I remember correctly, first goal against Parma, first game of the season, and the second goal, Bodo Glimt in the Champions League just a week ago. 1 assist. What is the 1 assist? I wouldn't really call it an assist, but it was the back pass into HAJJ, and he smacked it from 25-30 yards against Inter. 14 shots on goal across all competitions. HAJJ, how many of those shots are on target? 4. You're beginning to see where the problem is. Okay, now let's talk about Openda to the Lois. Openda to the Lois. 5 starts across all competitions. 464 minutes across all competitions. 1 goal, which came up against Bodo Glimt. 0 assists, 19 shots on goal, which you could see he's more trigger happy, Openda to the Lois, than David to the Jonathan. Once again, how many of those shots on target? 4. You're beginning to see where the problem is, hermano. You're beginning to see it. Like, it's a bit awkward when you bear in mind David is earning about 67 million, excluding bonuses, per season. He is a free agent. The agent fees. Openda's got like a, what, 35, 40 million pound fee? Like, if Juventus either make it into the champ. No. If Juventus finish in the top half, Juventus are now required to pay 40 million pounds for his signature. Both of them together, hand in hand, haven't even contributed to 10 shots on goal, on target. You're beginning to see why Openda has 1 goal. You're beginning to see why David only has 2 goals. And I'm going to be real, guys. Like, strikers, they've scored goals throughout their entire career. Openda has scored goals for RB Leipzig. He scores goals for Belgium. David scores goals for Canada. And he scored goals for Lille. Both of them just surpassing a quarter of a season. Fair enough, they haven't played much. But this is what I mean when I say sometimes when they come off the bench, they need to make that 5 minutes feel like an hour. They need to make that 45-minute feel like an entire game. They need to show that eagerness in the final third. They need to show some bite, some penetration. They need to show that I can win you games. I can put the ball into the back of the net. I can position myself correctly. I can get onto the end of opportunities. Now, of course, like it's not that linear. Like, there's so many other factors that play a part, from how well are Juventus, like how good are Juventus at creating opportunities, how good are Juventus at sustaining pressure. The point is, for the next 3 to 4 months, one of them will lead the line, unless Tudor, what's going on here? Unless Spalletti changes the formation, yeah? Okay. Now you guys are familiar with their numbers, their minutes, how many starts that they've had. Who do you want to lead the line? I'm going to just give my opinion. I think when it comes to these two, you could see what Spalletti said after the game against Cagliari and the game against Bodo Glimt, where he was like, both of them are like very fragile when it comes to their mentality. He's like, they're good kids. They've got the hunger. They've got the determination. Like, but you could see they've got like fragile mentalities where like they're not the strongest. Okay. Like, and don't get me wrong. You know, when he said that, I was like, yeah, I can tell by their performances. Like, they're not, bro, they're not alphas. Like, no, not like that. No, no, I am so sorry. Like, what I mean is, they're not like the most imposing, yeah. Like they don't really have the most imposing of personalities. Like they're the type of players where you need to put your arm across their shoulder. You need to guide them. Like at the moment, because they're in the slums of the mud, you probably need to like guide them through those games. You need to stand by them. You just need to keep pumping them, yeah, pumping them with confidence, yeah, like confidence, 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 yeah, like injections of confidence, okay? They need hugs. Spalletti also came out and said, like, both of them, they need a hug. They love a hug. I give them hugs. Don't get me wrong. We all love hugs. My point is, you're now beginning to see, like, why they're a bit more timid in the way they play the game. Why they're not the most penetrative. Why, in some moments, when they can pick up the ball and turn and take the game to the opposition, they would rather pass the ball backwards. Why, when Openda comes off the bench for 5 minutes against Cagliari, who are knackered and tired, and he has the opportunity to run down the outside and do what like Locatelli done towards the end of the game, he didn't. He turned around and passed it backwards. You could see they're drained on confidence, and you can see it in their performances. Between the two, it's very, very, very evident that they are polar opposites of one another. And this is why when Juventus signed both of them in the summer, I was like, if Juventus can get their act in order, you could actually have serious fun with these players because they give you the opportunity to play in a variety of different ways. For example, Openda to the Lois. You want to play vertical? You want to play route one? You want to go in behind? You want to exploit the channels? And you want to like just exploit any space in behind? Play on the transition, on the counter? Openda to the Lois is without a doubt one of the fastest players in Europe. Like, that is a fact. That is a fact. He is one of the fastest players in Europe. You can utilize his physicality. Now, you want to play a more technical game, a more possession-based game. You want to create central overloads to move the opposition and then get the wide players to tuck inside and occupy the space that the striker leaves in behind. Jonathan David, very technical. Very good at playing with his back to goal. As a striker, that passiveness to the way he plays the game, I'm personally not really too big of a fan of passive strikers, but there's definitely a time and a place for it, and it can aid and complement some of these Juve players. They both bring different things to the table. Which one do I think Spalletti will favour more? I think Spalletti will favour Openda more. Mainly because he came out after the game against Cagliari and he said, Openda for me is more of a striker. David for me is more of a number 10. Like, he's more of a connector. He's more of a facilitator. And I genuinely feel like maybe something like David in behind an Openda with Conceição Zhegrova on the right-hand side and Yildiz on the left, it might give Juventus a bit more firepower because it does mean, like I am petitioning for a formation change, a 4-2-3-1. It does mean now, when you look at like the attacking four, you've got physicality in Conceição, Zhegrova and Openda. The same fact, Kenan Yildiz is a physical demon at the same time. He's not as fast as the others, but my point is, you've now got the physical profiles, the Kenans, the Opendas, the Zhegrovas and the Conceiçãos. You've also got the technical profiles that can help you retain games, that can help you sustain pressure. Of course, it's not as simple as go 4-2-3-1 against Udinese and Juventus will win 6-0. No, because where the problem is, Kenan, yes, he has confidence on his side. Openda doesn't. If he doesn't have confidence on his side, he will be dropping you 3 out of 10 performances. Maybe one day it will turn into 5 and then the other day it will turn into 7. But how long? How long is it going to take for him to get that necessary confidence? It might take 3 games. It might take 4 games. It might take 5 games. Easter might be around the corner. And that's when, like we're talking Easter Sunday, and that's when the confidence will kick in. My point is, with Vlahovic now out of the team, whatever Spalletti does, it's going to require a lot of patience. Like, genuinely a lot of patience. Because for these 2 new signings to find their feet, and we both know they're very short on confidence, and there's no time frame on confidence. Like, confidence is not like, oh, Haj, in 1 week, the confidence will kick in. Nah, I'm going to be real. I know dudes that are 30 and they have no confidence, okay? You know what I mean? Like, the point is, it's going to take a lot of patience. Spalletti's going to have to stand by them. But the problem is, Spalletti is also looking at them and saying, I've got a job to get done. I need to get Champions League football. I need to make it into the playoffs and I need to win my playoff game. As much as I want to stand by you guys and give you a hug every single day, I'm going to need you guys to, like, dig in deep. You guys are going to have to, like, lock in. You guys are going to have to, like, put in some extra hours on the training session. Like, I'm going to stand by you guys, but you guys are going to have to give me 150% because that's the only way you're going to drag yourself out of the mud. I still feel like 4-2-3-1 is probably the best fix because, like I said, you've got the physical profiles. You've also got the technical profiles. David is very technical in that number 10. Kenan is very technical. Zhegrova, Conceição are technical. Openda, I feel like he's definitely the more physical than technical. But I feel like you've now got complementary profiles. Like, they all bring something different to the game. And like, once again, I'm not saying make the 4-2-3-1 and they will spank Udinese 10-0. No. But I think in order to get the best out of these two, and for Juventus to like avoid this 3-4 months without Dusan Vlahovic, I think the only way you're going to get something out of those two players is if you play them with one another, because their profiles complement one another. But you just have to hope and pray. You just have to hope and pray they could get their act back in order. That's my solution. So I'm going to be real. Even though I asked every single one of you guys, you have to pick one. I think you have to play both of them. It's crazy. I understand. You're probably going to have to sacrifice an extra midfielder. McKennie will probably get sacrificed. Maybe you're going to have to sacrifice an extra centre-back. You have to go 4-2-3-1. Yes, it removes defensive security, but it gives you a bit more firepower in the final third. And I'm going to be real. If it means Juventus concede 1 goal every game, but they go out and win 2-1, they go out and win 3-1, because they're going to have firepower on the field. And I still stand by it. My opinion hasn't changed on those two players. I think Openda is a good player. I think Jonathan David is a good player. I just think they've walked into a team where, like, for you to perform and hit the ground running straight away at Juventus, especially when you bear in mind, like, sometimes the recruitment hasn't been the best. The chopping and changing at board level, at managerial level, like, it doesn't really aid new recruits that have come to the Serie A, come to Italy, come to a club the size of Juve. When you bear in mind, like, both of them, with all due respect, have not really come from, like, powerhouse teams, if you know what I mean. Like, one's come from RB Leipzig and the other one's come from Lille. When you put on that Juve shirt and you see the size and you see the pressure and the demands and the expectations and how you can win but perform badly, you will get cooked. If you draw, brother, we're looking for your address. If you lose, you better make sure you order Uber Eats every single day of the week, because I can't be seeing you on the streets. See what I mean? I think you have to play both. I genuinely feel like you have to play both, and that's the only way to make it work. And I am petitioning for the 4-2-3-1. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. Catch you guys on another one.